Okay.
We have a new, well, I'm not used to this new voice that says the meeting is now being recorded. So that's new for us. Anyway, we want to welcome everyone to the Elevation Call. Thank you so much for joining us this special weekend. And so we're going to have our regular Sunday night Elevation Call with our team. We have a number of new things, new people on the call, have an exciting announcement that's all over the screen right now. It's really a wonderful thing we're going to do with Laura Mclendon and some people on her team. But what I want to do, though, to start this meeting, it's a special weekend, and I want to begin this meeting tonight with, and I'm sure many of you have already done this, maybe multiple of times, but we're going to take the time tonight and recognize the Memorial Day weekend as a really a weekend of memory. It's a remembrance. And so I don't know that celebration, even though people celebrate each other and life and freedom this weekend, but really it's a weekend to remember those who've served all of us, and even especially those who've given their lives. Many of you have family members throughout the years. All of us in some way have been affected by the loss of those who've served us. So we're just going to take just a minute and just pause together as a group and be grateful and express in our own ways some memory for that. So let's just take just a moment. Thank you all for that. And again, for those of you who have served and those of you who have really through your family have had to sacrifice, of life in the service of our country and our freedom, we just want to express our gratitude to you and those that that you've lost over the years. So anyway, that's that. And we're very grateful for it and hope that everyone enjoys your family and your time this weekend. So.
And what I want to do is just review for those of you who are new and those of you who have been here with us. We really talk about the three main purposes of Zalise. And what we do on this elevation call is really help elevate our lives, help elevate our business. But the three main purposes really are, number one, health. We're really structurally changing how we know health with the whole endocannabinoid system, the fueling of that system. And that's really where Zalise fits into the market space, is they are a company that is leading this whole endocannabinoid space, adding an amazing form of health, freedom from pain, freedom from anxiety, freedom from the negative effects of stress, from the lack of ability to sleep. There's so many things that we see in the use of this product that is just undeniable. And for me, it was really in my first 3 days with the company that I saw my youngest son, who struggled with brain health issues, being able to really communicate in a whole new way with Ultracell. And so the product, really this whole product approach is very important to the purpose of Zalise.
The second part of that, of course, is that with Zalise, we've all been given an opportunity to generate significant income or even just minimal income to change our lives. But really there's opportunity for significant income. We get paid in 7 different ways, and that's offered to us. Now, not everyone earns that, not everyone strives for that, but the opportunity is there. And one of the great ways is really long-term residual income, because people continue to use these products as they find the health. So we talk about wealth freedom as well.
Well, and that's very important to understand the difference between wages and the building of an asset through customer and ambassador acquisition. Very, very important. And then the third purpose, Hal, the pay it forward concept.
Yeah, so from the very beginning, Stephen and Angie Thompson have built this company around pay it forward. So many things, the health, the income opportunity, the relationships, but also they've built it into the pay structure, that they really have made it from every purchase that's made through Zalise. A day of vitamins, at a minimum, a day of vitamins goes into the world, into places of the people that can't afford it. But then they built it into our pay from the city bonus, where they pay us from $100 to $500 each month based upon our growth and our rank with the company, that we give away, that we pay forward that. And of course, the other big thing with Pay It Forward is this is a company that's message is carried by us who have benefited or who desire to carry forward the message. It's a pay it forward message. And so we do help people become educated on the cannabinoid system in the body, upon natural health from the hemp plant, how to take it, the products that are available, but also the concept of building a different kind of income and wealth is a pay it forward concept. So many people just don't understand the opportunities and really, in many cases, the necessity to create additional serious streams of income for themselves. And so we pay forward that message as well.
And so this call, you guys, is usually unpacking some aspect of those three purposes. And today, really the last 24 hours of the month is the red zone. And in fact, one of the wonderful things about red zones, last 10 days of the month is red zone, but Stephen puts together some amazing packages that are deeply discounted that usually have what's called rank BV. That's business volume that contributes toward your advancement of rank. And so if you actually go to your summary page and your back office portal, you'll see those specials that are, so we just placed an order for one. There's also a Father's Day special right now that's a great deal. And so I want to make sure that we understand what it means to be the last 24 hours of the month.
Right. But the other thing about red zone specials typically are not just ending the month strong, but you'll probably hear Stephen talk about this tomorrow night. Red zone specials are also designed for us to begin the next month with a product line. Maybe it's a new launch that happened. We don't have that right now with new product. So they've packaged the red zone special packaging with prospecting in mind, getting products into the hands of people for them to try it. So at this time, we end the month with additional opportunities to close the month with BV bonuses, but then the product line that's available in those specials kind of kickstarts next month as we run and keep the momentum going or begin momentum again or freshly. For many of you who haven't quite kicked your momentum yet, but it's an opportunity to do that, to restock your inventory a little bit with products that help move the business forward. So,
and every single one of those is a seed of that you plant.
We did some seed planting this weekend.
We did.
Yeah,
we
anyway,
did.
we don't need to go into that, but we do it everywhere we go. So,
anyway. And one of the ways that we really track the intensity of new growth in our business is called the Leaderboard. And Hal's going to recap the leaderboard.
So I'm going to recap the leaderboard for this last month, and it looks like we got 1 day left. So you still have time to get on this leaderboard. Top 25 in all of Zalise. This is national and international. We have two ambassadors or ambassador groups that are on the leaderboard this month. At number 20 is Lisa Bell Henson and her sidekick Hal. So anyway, we're at number 20 this month. And so we're very grateful to be there. We believe that we're always building our business. There's people, we're always paying it forward. You know, when you think about the fact that you get to impact people's lives, you're not just adding to your team front line, but you're really paying forward with the gifts that we've received. And so it's never surprising for us to be on the leaderboard. It's just not. You know, it's just how it is for us. It's not surprising. We like being there because we're impacting people's lives and we're constantly building our business. But once again, at number 1 this month is Jason and Julie Smith. I think they're driving. I don't know if they're home yet, but you know, this couple, since they began in late April, have really in Tyler, Texas, just been very, very consistent in sharing the product. They've introduced us to a number of wonderful, wonderful people. And so we want to recognize them. Now, here in a few minutes, we're actually going to be talking to someone who spent quite a bit of time the last few months on the leaderboard. And you're going to see and hear about the results of being on the leaderboard consistently here in just a few minutes. So anyway, that's the leaderboard for this month.
Thank you for that. And some of you guys had seen, as we posted on Team Unlimited, that we want really to tell a story about really the continuation of the story that we started last Sunday night. And if you didn't hear Linda and Jim unpack the story of Team Wildfire and really, you know, how Linda and Jim came into the business, and they're, you know, we told the story of it. We didn't know Linda and Jim at all. In fact, it was 5 people who really brought us, you know, one to the next, to Linda and Jim Ferguson. And they talked about just, you know, the struggles and the challenges of really getting to this person, Laura Mclendon, who we're going to celebrate tonight. And so here's what I want you guys to do. Sometimes when you're hearing a story of somebody's success, it's really easy to have head trash. It's easy to think about how you lack how I used to sit here and I could justify just saying like, I suck because I can't do the same thing. And so for 13 years in my business that I did previous to Zalise, I would just beat myself up that I didn't hit a goal that someone else had achieved. And so here I want just to take that off of you, because what we do in this business is on our own track. Laura's going to tell you her story of why Zalise for her. And what we know about Laura Mclendon is that it took her 2 years and 1 month to actually hit the area position. And the reason it's such a very inspirational story is area position is really the first step for financial freedom with Zalise. And we've heard a lot of people say, you know, I'd love to hit area, but it requires a decision. It really does. And it requires a lot of intentional effort. And so there's so much to learn when somebody gets very real about just making that decision, the challenges, and also really the decision, the moment at which they really decided that they were going to do this.
And I just want to say one thing too, that goes to this mindset that we want to ask you to have tonight. I remember about 7 years ago, I was driving a 14-year-old Chevy pickup on its second motor. It was beat up on the passenger side really bad. You couldn't open one of the side doors. That was my vehicle. That was it. And I was driving about 2 hours away to watch one of my kids in a golf tournament. And I was driving that truck and I was grateful to have it, but I can tell you that vehicles were passing me, and they were beautiful vehicles, different ones. And that day I just thought, you know what? I'm tired of driving this old pickup truck. And I thought, but I can't afford to buy a new truck. But as these vehicles were passing me, I looked at a couple of trucks going by and I thought, you know what? If they can drive that truck, I can too. If that person, I don't know how they got it, but if they can do it, I can too. And so I didn't know them. I didn't know anything about them, but they had something that I wanted. And I just said to myself, if they can do it, I can too. Within a year, I was driving not a brand new, but to me, a really nice Dodge Ram truck. That next year, I went to take that Dodge Ram truck to get serviced, and I sat in a Jeep inside of the dealership. I didn't even know about Zalise at the time, but I sat in that Jeep, had someone there take a picture of me, and I thought, other people drive Jeeps like this, I can too. I hadn't even heard about Zalise at the time, had no idea. I've still got the picture today, but about a year later, I was introduced to Zalise and Lisa. Within my first month, I earned my Jeep, and I literally am driving the same color Jeep, white with a black roof, that I sat in that dealership after I got my Dodge truck, which was after I said to myself one day, with vehicles passing me, if they can do it, I can too. And so I really believe that if we take on that kind of mindset and accept it and just say it and believe it, and I think Laura will be a great inspiration for all of us tonight to say, you know, she did it, I can too. No, it's not if, because she has. So she did it, I can too. So anyway, that's what I want to say about that.
And so here's the other thing, is that I want you to imagine that you have built a team of people who produced Laura Mclendon, that actually found Laura Mclendon, like Laura found Bethany, who found Jason. And amazing things happen to every single person upline when somebody finds a person who really starts to take off. So I'm going to bring Laura Mclendon to the line. All of you guys now are in your mind. Laura is somebody that you have found maybe on your 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th level. Laura, come to the line and tell us about your Zalise
So
story.
give her a
Zalise
congratulations
wave.
wave.
Hey, everybody.
We're so proud of you, Laura.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be on here today. And I just want to say thank you to you guys and to Steve and Jenny and Jim and Linda, because y'all have really poured into our team the last few months to try to get us going and keep us going. And we really appreciate that. We're not in this journey alone. And I'm so grateful for that. And you wanted me to tell my little story?
Yeah, I want you to tell why Zalise. Laura, tell us a little bit about your background and how you were introduced.
I'm a physical therapist, and I got burned out in the traditional medical world because they never addressed the root cause of a problem. And through my health struggles and my family's health struggles, I learned about natural medicine and muscle testing. And so I started slowly weaning myself out of PT and doing natural health. And I prayed a lot about that. I was like, did I go to PT school to quit and be an herbalist? And I had 3 people call me the next day for an appointment. I was like, okay, this is what I'm doing. So I've just been slowly decreasing that. I work at the hospital 1 weekend a month. And then I have a health and wellness clinic called Healthy by Nature, and I do that Monday through Friday. So I see clients on an individual basis, assess their nutritional needs, see what they need, come up with a customized food and supplement program, and help them with their health struggles. And it's my passion. I love it. It's amazing. And Mary Filippi, she introduced me to Zalise. She said, you need to come to a meeting. And I was like, well, that stuff's still illegal. I'm not going to go. and she said, no, you just need to go. And I was like, okay. So we went to Dallas, and at that meeting, I met Stephen, and I saw an orthopedic surgeon, the leading OBGYN in Dallas, and a pain management doctor talk about the benefits of CBD and what it did for their patients. And I was like, okay, I'm in. So I started and signed up, and I said, okay, we're going to do this. I was excited, and we had a couple meetings and hardly anybody showed up. And I was like, oh, this is too hard. I'm just going to do it the way I know how to do it. I have 5-6 people a day come to see me. I'm just going to start selling it to my patients, and I'm going to incorporate that into my nutritional programs. And so there's always education needed with CBD because it's new, so I always ask people, what do you know about CBD? What do you think about it? And they're like, I don't know anything about it. I've wanted to try it, but I don't know what brand or whatever. So then I just gave them a little talk, and then I would say, these are the supplements you need if you don't use CBD. These are the supplements you need if you do use CBD. And it's like, you don't need all the detox supplements, all those other herbs just go away. It's crazy. So you do CBD and some B vitamins, some vitamin D, just the basic stuff, and you're good. So I started using that in my practice and just retailing it. And I was like, this is great. I can do this forever, But then I was like, I'm almost 50 this year. So I don't want to be doing this all day, every day. I want to be able to help more people at one time instead of just one person at a time. And it was kind of a blessing with the stimulus pack that he gave us. I signed up a lot of people. I think I have 42 people on my right side, so all of my clients, I just said, here, sign up. You get a business. I didn't really talk about the business part of it because I still had some negative self-talk saying, oh, I don't want to be, known as a business lady that's trying to sign everybody up and do a business and, pyramid scheme lady or whatever. I still had some really negative self-talk about that, even though I know this is an excellent business model and it's the best way to go when you have a product where you have to educate people and help them dose and do all of that. You don't get that when you go to the granary or the health food store. You don't get any support on how to get the products and how to use the products. And so I said, okay, I need to start doing this. And I started signing people up, and I still wasn't telling them about the business part really. And then Dr. Todd comes in. He's like, you need to work on your self-talk. I'm like, oh, okay. Imagine that. And then and then you start listening to the self-talk and you go, man, it sounds weird to say, hey, you're a confident, beautiful person or whatever. When you hear the self-talk, it sounded corny. And he said, that's because your self-talk is so negative that sounds weird to have positive self-talk. And I went, oh, that's not good. So I've been working on the self-talk with him. And through the years, I've seen people and I've never said anything about the business. And then 3 weeks later, they're signed up with some other company doing the business. And I'm like, dang, I should have told them about that. So now I tell everybody, I say, hey, if you love this and you want to share it, there's a business. So let me know. And they're all like, oh yeah, I might want to do that. So I've been really surprised at how many people are like very open to the business opportunity, especially in these times when they're looking for ways to have additional income. And with Rona, I mean, I'm a physical therapist. You would think, oh, you're set. No, they laid 1,000 people off at our hospital because we didn't have that many people sick. So my job at the hospital at the time, I was doing Fridays and every fourth weekend, that money went away, and I had to do unemployment. And then my business had to shut down. So I was selling CBD and herbs off my porch. I still made $5,000 off my porch while everybody else was sitting at home doing nothing. I still was able to keep my business going. And I thought, okay, this is the way to do it. I have to get more people on my team and start sharing it so we can impact more lives. And then I can have more freedom to not be tied to an office and sitting in the office all day, every day. So that's kind of my story. It's taken a while, but it's worth it. And I was always afraid to reach up and ask for help because I didn't want to bug people. And then they started saying, hey, you need to ask us for help. And I was like, okay, well, let's do it. So just overcoming your self-talk on, I can't build a team because you've never built a team. You can't do that. You have to say, okay, what do I need to do to build a team? And then grow yourself into that position so that you can meet the expectations and what's needed. And so that's kind of where I'm at. And then I'm just blessed with awesome team members that are running with it. We're all doing our self-talk and getting the ball on. And Jason has really been amazing at he taught me a lot of stuff too. So I'm learning from everyone. Everyone has their talents, so that's the nice part about having a team is you can learn this from one person and this from another person, and you can all help each other with your business.
I'd agree with that. I don't know what else you'd say this. Don't tell Eva or anybody else. We've learned more from our team than we've learned from our mentors.
Upline.
I'm just saying that's how it works, but we learn from them too. But I'm so glad you said that because you do learn. We learn together. And I just can make one more comment and then I'm going to turn it over to you. So I love, and I wrote it down, Laura, and it's so simple the way you said it. And I think this was your transition statement. And it is, I wanted to help more people at a time rather than one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where the shift, I think, come in that I want to help more people. And you do that by building a team of people who kind of know what they're doing, who have the same mindset. So anyway, I love the way you said that. And so anyway.
And Laura, I wanted just to ask you, just because, we've been hearing about this Jason and Julie Smith couple for a while. These guys have dominated the leaderboard. I mean, I don't remember hearing another couple that have done what these guys have done.
Yeah.
How did you find Jason and Julie?
I enrolled Bethany. She's one of my coworkers at the hospital, and she knows Jason. And so she showed Jason the plan, and he was like, I'm in, and he has a lot of other business-minded people. And he's good at saying, hey, this is a great business opportunity. You just need to get in. And he's got enough influence and people that trust him that are just like, yeah, let's do it. So they're all jumping in with him, which is great.
So let me get this straight. Bethany actually showed Jason the plan, kind of?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So she didn't wait for Steve and Jenny or Jim and Linda to come to town to do it, or Hal and
Well, I
Lisa?
think he may have watched it whenever Steve and Jenny did a Zoom for us or something.
Okay.
I sent it to him. I sent it to him.
Jump in there, Bethany, because you're a big part of this whole story.
I
Okay.
sent it to him. I sent him the link.
Okay. A
I think
pre-recorded
it's
one.
awesome. I think it's awesome, whatever
Yeah.
you did, Bethany,
Yeah.
because you took action and you didn't wait, and that's awesome.
And I want to say something else about Bethany. And I was telling somebody, I think it was Leanna the other day, I'm like, the thing that really impressed me about Bethany, I'd never met her. She had the courage to call me, text me. She reached out to me, didn't wait for me to do anything to reach to her. And she was persistent. Like, she would ask me for help when she needed it. Even when I didn't know what the heck to do with the Facebook message, she was training me on how to help her. And it was really just the fact that she was going to ask for what she needed. That really, I knew that Bethany was really going to do some special things in this business because of just how she was so willing to work that. And I think for most of us, I know with me, I would never have called like Jenny Lesby. I really was trying to do it all on my own. And Bethany, I mean, you have shown a great example of what can happen when you just ask for what you need. And even if it's not perfect action, any kind of action is better than inaction any day. And so Bethany, just by what you did, you, I think, reached to Julie, and Julie then mentioned this to Jason. And so because of that, you bless every single person in your entire upline team.
So anytime you have an area break, like what's happened this week with Laura Mclendon, you had a little surprise the other day, didn't you, Laura? When you opened your computer in your back office, what'd you see?
I saw that I had reached area. I was excited, and I was like 60% to regional. And I went, woohoo. So
that is awesome.
Yeah.
So
And
60% to regional.
Yeah.
Having just broken area. So how did that, can you explain how it is that one day you're not quite to area, then you open up your back office and all of a sudden you're not only area, but you're 60% to the next rank, which is a much higher volume count. How does that happen?
Well, it was just effort on everybody's part. I was getting people buying products that I had put underneath me. I'm like, did you like that? You need to reorder. Like, oh yeah, I've been meaning to do that. So I just prompted them, because I'm not as good at putting people on auto ship like I need to be. So I've had a negative self-talk about auto ship. So I've overcome that obstacle now. But I've realized that that morning I had like 95.48, and I was like, well, if I have to, I'm buying that $1,000 pack, because I need some berry minis anyway, because I'm totally out. And I was like, I was all ready to do that. And then I got on that afternoon and it was done. And I was like, whoa, hey. So I didn't even look to see what happened and transpired in that time and who purchased things, but I had like called several of my people that had been using the products, and I was like, well, try this. And I had one that wanted to cancel her auto ship because she didn't need her collagen. I said, but you're using the serum, you need some of that. She, oh yeah, I do. So I put her on that with the auto ship instead of canceling it. I said, you're going to lose $26 if you cancel that. And she's like, oh, well, okay, maybe not. And we just talked about it. So keeping in touch with your clients and just seeing what they need and reminding them that there are things that they may not have tried, or something that they might run out of in the next week or two that they can put on an auto ship, or make an order at the last minute can help kind of boost you to the next rank. But yeah, I was just so excited. I've got Lori Freiling. She's enrolling some people, and Leanna is enrolling some people. We went to Jason's house the other night, and we put the topical on 2 women there, and both of them signed up, like, just because of the topical. They were like, oh my gosh, my neck feels amazing. Okay, where do I sign? So if you're not rubbing topical on people, you need to just just bathe them in it.
Hey, Laura, let me pause you there for just a second because you're such a great practitioner. What products can you not live without in our line? Just what do you love and what do you recommend?
I love the topical, and then I love the CBD. I use the berry, and then the dream. So those are my big ones, and the zinc, because I need zinc. I've got a genetic thing where I need a lot more zinc. So instead of having to take 3 tablets of zinc, I just take 6 drops of zinc. So that zinc is way more potent than the stuff I was using. And so I love those. I didn't sleep. I mean, my daughter's 17, and I literally did not sleep through the night since she's been born till I found CBD and dream. And if I went to bed and any little noise woke me up and I've had 3 or 4 hours of sleep, I was awake the rest of the night. And so the dream and the CBD allows me to sleep all night. I can sleep through storms. I'm not like gonked out where I can't wake up if I need to, but I sleep, and that's huge. So,
Hey, Laura, you also taught me what is the advantage of our B12? If you can explain that to people.
the B12 is a methylated B12. So a lot of people now have genetic mutations where they don't activate their B vitamins. They eat them, but their body can't methylate them to make them active so that they can focus and make melatonin and sleep and decrease stress and digest their food. B vitamins do a lot of things, B12 especially. And so the methylated B12 is already in the active form, so their body can use it. And then those people that are just like dragging and never have any energy, and they're like, I've tried B vitamins, it doesn't work. Have them try methylated B vitamins because those will work. They probably have a genetic issue where their body just doesn't methylate them and activate them, and they're not getting any benefit from them. So our methylated B vitamins are amazing. The methylfolate, you need that for all your detox pathways, and you need the B12 to help with digestion and concentration, all your nerves. My mom went vegetarian and she lives by herself. You know, when you do vegetarian by yourself, you don't want to cook stuff. So she was just like, eat a little salad here, eat a little toast here. Well, she started having neuropathy symptoms, and she went to the doctor, and he's like, you have no B12. And it turns out she needs methylated B12. And then she was vegetarian, not eating any B vitamins. And it put her in a bad spot. So she had to start supplementing with the methyl B vitamins and eat some meat. It's like, just eat some meat. So she's doing better because of that. And there's a lot of people, and especially children. I mean, every child I've seen in my clinic, they have this genetic mutation where they don't methylate B vitamins. And that's why these kids, they can't focus, they can't sleep. You know, there's ADD, autism, all that stuff. I think that's one of the root causes is their bodies can't detox and use B vitamins the way they're supposed to. So.
Well, Laura, let me ask you this, just because, you know, it's easy to sit here and listen and, you know, in our trash talk in our minds, we think, well, of course, Laura can get to area because she's a health professional. And I hear that quite a bit. You know, you somehow have to be a health professional to do this business. So one of the things that I would ask you, what is a good way to talk to a health professional? Because all of us have the ability to build a team of business people, entrepreneurs, and health professionals. So if you're talking, I know that Dr. Monica is on the call tonight, and I got the pleasure of meeting her. She's just, hopefully we'll have her on the call sometime and
when she
tell
gets
her story. Yeah, when she gets
Yeah.
her. But how would you assess or talk to somebody who is a health professional just to see if they're a good fit for or open to what we're doing?
The way I've approached, because most of the people I've signed up are health professionals, the way I approach it is, hey, have you ever heard of the endocannabinoid system? And they're like, what? And I send them the little TED talk, and I tell them, hey, I've met these 3 physicians and told them their story. And then I tell them a few of my testimonials of my patients that have Parkinson's or can't sleep or chronic pain. And then they go, I need to learn more about that. So just sharing stories of either, and don't wait for your miracle story to share it, because there's somebody out there that needs that product that you know, and if you wait for your own miracle, then you're gonna deny them that miracle. So just start using it, and then start sharing it, and use other people's stories if you don't have your own. But that's what I did. I would just present them with the science, because I'm like, have you heard of the endocannabinoids? They're like, no. And I said, you have to have that to achieve balance in your body. And they would watch the video and then ask more. And I'm working on a couple more chiropractors and some other physicians. Lori Freiling has some physicians up in the line there. So maybe we'll get some more of the health professionals going in pretty soon. But that's kind of how I've approached it. And most of them, they did come in just like with a bronze pack, just trying it. And then they're like, hey, we're getting some results with this. And because most healthcare professionals, that's why they went into healthcare, is they want to help people, you know. And I think a lot of them are disheartened with the way healthcare is now. And it's very stressful and symptom related, and just throw you a drug on, and then you take another drug for the symptom from that drug. And you know, you're not helping anyone achieve optimum health. You're just suppressing symptoms, and you get tired of that. And so when they see there's a product that actually promotes wellness and has side benefits, then they go, okay, well, what is this? This is easy to take, and you get full body benefits from it. So you can't beat it. You know, it's a win-win for everyone.
We're getting some rave
So we're getting
reviews.
some,
Oh, really?
yes, couple of things. One, I want to jump back to Bethany. Or if Bethany's still on, I see. Bethany, you said you sent a video to Julie. And so tell us about that, because you know, that link from Laura, who clearly knows a whole lot about all this, as she should. One, because she's been in the business a while, but Bethany, you just did what to get us to Julie and Jason?
Well, I reached out to her like I did several people. Hey, how are you doing with your health and wellness? Just like Dr. Steve Todd has told me to do. And she is one of the ones that reached out to me and said, hey, well, I got this, and this going on. And so I told her about what I had and told her, I'd love to help you if I can. We'll see if it's a fit. And she wanted information, of course. So I sent her things like the TED Talk and things, other videos that she could watch with information about the products, and some written stuff just about the ECS and cannabinoids and how we can supplement phytocannabinoids and, all the things. And reached back out to her several times, and sometimes she answered, sometimes she didn't. They were just doing a lot of digesting and processing and talking and figuring out, I'm sure. So she asked me a question, and I don't remember what the question was exactly. And my response to her was something like, well, the products or the business side, was my response to her, was another question. And I was thinking, ha, 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 in my mind, she's not asking about the business side, but, I'll still be funny with her, basically. And indeed, she was curious about the business side. So I'm glad I didn't actually write, ha, ha, ha. And so then I said, oh, well, what I can do is just send y'all a link so y'all can see all about it. And her response was, oh, I thought that's what we already watched. And I said, no, you haven't seen anything about the business. You've just seen a little bit about how the products work. I'll send you a link. And I have no idea, which one it was that I sent them. I had a few. It could have very well been one that Dr. Linda had done. I don't even know. And when I sent that to them, it wasn't too much longer afterward. They said, yeah, let's do this.
So let's bring Julie on, not Jason. Jason's always getting all the glory, but here's how we got to them. Bethany leads us to Julie, and Julie has now reached out to Stacy. I know we've got Tim and Mary as well, right? Tim and Mary, is that right?
Lori.
Lori. Sorry, Lori. Okay, I apologize. Who I think Jason or Julie reached out to.
They're some of our closest friends.
Okay, so still, it's Julie. Okay, I know this. I keep seeing it and hearing it, but everybody's always throwing Jason's name out there. But I know who the stud of that family is. It's Julie. Julie, what did you do with these people?
I don't know. I guess I started experiencing some good things with the product, and so I just said, hey, and when I come across people, and I'm a little slower on that road than Jason is, but when I come across friends and we just in casual conversations, and I say that we just happen to get on something about this or that, and I say, hey, have you thought about CBD? And what's been happening is most of my people have said, I have thought about that, but I don't know where to start. I don't know enough about that. And I said, well, I've just recently learned a whole lot more about it, and we've and I've just kind of explained and I put it right out there up front, it is a business, but it has an amazing product. And so, if you're interested in business, that's great. If you really want to learn about the product, that's great. And just kind of see where they're at. And what has happened beyond that is when our people try the product and then they see what it's doing for them, then they like, my mom needs this, my sister needs this, I've got to tell my friends about this because of how they're experiencing. And they just don't want to be quiet anymore. And so really that's kind of how it's progressed.
That's great. And there's a lot more to this story, which we'll hear later, but I just wanted, last week, this has been a 2-week journey, which we thought was going to turn out something like it has. We saw it coming. But we've talked about Lisa getting involved in this business 3.5 years ago. She introduced to Judy. Judy reaches out. Patty Bugg's involved. Patty's reaching out to this person, that, and we got the Fergusons, and the Fergusons eventually the Todds, and the Todds slept on it for a while. They were just asleep about this for quite a while.
Until Steve got his $30 check.
Until Steve got his $30 check.
34.
And they could go out to dinner down on the ocean, I guess. I don't know. But then they got involved more because they came to meetings. They got plugged in with these calls over and over again. They're always there. And then the story has continued. So, again, if they can do it, you can do it. Because they've done it, you can do it. And so that is what we hope to be tonight, to be huge inspiration for all of you. And you just see how this string happens. Because of the faithfulness of a few people going on.
And it's leaders on top of leaders on top of leaders. In fact, as of last week, we didn't know that Steve and Jenny would jump back in their Jeep. And Steve and Jenny, tell us what you guys just got back from. You guys are muted.
Well, we just got back today at 4:30 from Tyler, Texas. It's the busiest, most exciting town in the United States to be at right now. So we went. Yeah.
How did you guys decide to do that?
Well, I think they're just wonderful people, and it's a wonderful community. Laura is a wonderful person, and they're just people we want to be around, and they're like-minded, and it's easy to go when somebody's has a like mind, so I think we're just attracted there with them. They're just such fine people.
But was momentum going.
Momentum.
And we need to keep that momentum going. We couldn't back off. I just told Steve, we've got to go again. And when we left this weekend, we said, we'll be back, and we will. So, we're very, very excited about that. But again, we just couldn't stop the momentum, and the momentum is still going. So,
And Jenny, I think we knew that Jason and Julie were going to be out of town.
Yeah.
So I know we wanted to help build them. So what did you guys do while they weren't there?
Well, we had a meeting for Laura, and I apologize, I don't have my calendar open. I can't even remember what we did yesterday.
Well, I know, weren't you at Tim and Laura Alexander's?
Yes, we
Tim
did.
and Laura are just wonderful people.
We did a
got
meeting last night at their
with her
house.
sisters and her mom, and it was just a
Oh,
fun time.
Laura had some fabulous,
Laura.
their family had fabulous product testimony.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness, just fabulous. And so, again, her 2 sisters and her mom were there, and we just had so much fun. And we talked longer than what we thought we were going to, but it just was great. I tell
And
you,
they had a meeting with Laura at her at her clubhouse, and it was real nice. She had some people we got to meet and bond with, and a couple of new people were there, weren't they?
yes,
Yeah.
uh-huh,
And
yeah.
so
Mhm. Yeah.
It was just,
Met with Dr. Monica, had a great
Dr.
meeting
Monica
with her
and
and
Sam,
the
new ambassadors.
met
Met
with
with
Sam,
Sam.
that's right. We met with Sam.
with
Oh my
Sam.
gosh, he was awesome. We had a great time there. But I tell you, these people, this business, you know, not only do we have a great product and a great business model, but just the people that you meet and the friendships that you develop in this business is such a positive for me. I just love the fact that I didn't know anybody on here except Jim and Linda. But I just feel like I told Lori Freiling,
She's
who's
sweet.
an ambassador in Tyler, I said, you know, Lori, I've only seen you twice, but I think I could ask you any favor and you would do it for me. And she said, yes, I would. That's just kind of friendships that you build in this business. I just love that. So this business is a win-win-win. I just love it. So.
Well, you guys are really showing not only how to be servant leaders, but how to drive depth. And you were working below Jason and Julie. And, you know, I was really fortunate to work with an upline leader named Eva Angelopoulos. And she was really driving depth for me as well before I really even knew what was going on.
And you trusted her to help you do it.
I did trust her to help me do
Same
it.
with me. I trusted you. I did. That's how it worked. I was honest.
I had ulterior
Well,
motives.
we weren't even dating yet. You were my business partner. Seriously. That's how it worked.
I want
So-
to ask Laura one more question.
Okay.
Just-
All right.
Laura, we've talked about, you know, the good and the exciting part. What has been the biggest challenge in your drive for area so far?
I think my biggest challenge was getting over myself and just not, you know what I mean? just like Julie said, saying, hey, this is a business and this is great products. You can be a customer or you can do the business. I see 5 to 6 people every freaking day for 2 years, and I didn't tell them about the business part of it, you know, so I kick myself for not presenting that opportunity to people when I know it could have blessed their lives when Corona hit. You know, they could have had a business going. But just working on the self-talk is a big one. Just when you're starting to reach out to someone, you know, what I learned is you write down what are you telling yourself before you call this person. If you're like, oh, they're not going to want to do it, you know, if you have all these negative things, you write it down because they hear it in your voice. I mean, the voice has so much emotion and it has frequencies to it. I can get all kind of crazy. There's actually a machine where you talk into it and they can tell you all your past life traumas just by you saying A, B, C, D, E and talking. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. So your voice, people perceive what you're feeling through your voice. Even if you're faking it, it's not going to work. If this in here is saying this, they're not going to do it, then they're not going to do it. So you just have to overcome that issue and get to your root core story that you're telling yourself and rewrite it to something else and say this. And also just what I liked was, instead of saying prospecting or reaching out or whatever, someone said, you're sharing your gift. I get to share my gift today. And that's really what it is. Because I mean, when you have someone that's sitting there and they have chronic pain and they're like, I don't know if I can live another 20 years like this. And you give them 2 drops of CBD oil and their pain is gone. And they're like, okay, I can walk 3 miles a day now and I can do what I want to do. That is a gift. And we should share it with everyone and not keep it to ourselves and think, oh, they're not going to want, you know, if they don't want it, oh, well, go on to the next person. You know, that's just the way it is. You just need to present it to people and never prejudge and expect the best out of everything when you start out. So I got over myself thanks to Dr. Todd and his self-talk.
That's awesome.
That's a beautiful
That's so
story.
great. Well, we're getting close to the top of the hour, but I do want to address something that's been brought up by a couple of people. So one of the things that Lisa said in the very beginning is, imagine yourself finding a Laura Mclendon. Okay. Imagine yourself finding someone like this, and we're recognizing her. And she is unique, but she's not unique. Okay. But wouldn't all of us love to have a Laura Mclendon in our back pocket on all this health stuff? Wouldn't we love to have that? I mean, absolutely. I know Lisa reached out to Laura to ask about the B12 question. Here we've been taking the product for a while, and Lisa discovered that she needed some, what's it called? Methylated, see what I know, B12. And so she reached out to Laura. Now, here's the thing, is people said, would Laura be willing to share more of the health info? We'd love to hear that, because people ask, especially people in the health profession, all the time. So here's what I want to say. One, keep looking until you find a Laura, but Laura found this information because she's done the research. And one of the things I want to promote to all of us tonight is that Zalise has provided us huge amount of information. The Lunch and Learns, Dr. Marielle Weintraub and others, but especially her, do great training, typically about 25 to 30 minutes on most of the products that we have, and they go into a lot of this information. So it's all in our back office. It's available to us for that. And so, the other thing we've done from time to time, don't wait on this, but from time to time, we may do kind of a health professionals forum where some of these things can be brought up. But I will tell you that having all the answers about what each product does and all the health benefits is not the way we build this business. We can provide some answers, but the reality is that we have to get the product into people's bodies. They need a basic understanding and let the product do the work. And then they can do the research with us, and we help them navigate the process of moving forward for them specifically. We have seen over and over again, or I have, over the last 2.5 years, great questions and a lot of, of the science and the different this and that's and what it does for this and what this does and that does. But what happens with that, unfortunately, is a lot of people get bogged down in that, and it just slows them down rather than really helps people. So it's not that it's not important, and we certainly can do that, but there is a lot of information available there. So do you want to say anything more about that?
Well, just the truth is, I had a mentor once that said, you've got to build it. Like, we have provided a lot of infrastructure. I mean, we're so grateful for the team of you guys that have joined us. You have a special gift. With Laura, her gift is in helping us understand some of the assets, some of the tools, the products that we have that really can directly benefit people's bodies. Jim and Linda, I was just laughing. Linda does an amazing job at freaking flyers. I mean, her flyers are awesome. It's just a gift that she gives her team. And I could go on every single one of you guys sitting here like Hollywood squares and talk about the gifts that you give your team. It's the value that you bring. But you guys, at the end of the day, you've got to build the team.
Well, not only that, but each of us have unique gifts. But I will tell you that more importantly than that, if you can just get your mind around this, as we look at our screen, and there's 20 people on the screen, and if we move the screen over, there'd be more. As much knowledge as we have on how to build the business, as much knowledge as Lisa has about the science behind it, or Laura has, those are all great things. But I will tell you that they don't mean as much as the fact is, people that we'll never meet unless we meet them through you. That is really what you have, are those connections with people in the world, rather than the information and knowledge of all the answers about products or how to build the business. It is your connection to people in the world that none of us have unless you make that connection. So that is what your greatest gift are, those connections with other people.
And here we all represent, let's just talk about Ultracell. I mean, we've got a battery of products, a totally non-toxic supplement for the body that has no known side effects, only side benefits. And so we don't really even, like when we first started using this, we were taking a whole dropper full. I mean, we're using way more than we needed. And so this product will work for people, whether they use it correctly or not. We just have to get it into people's bodies. And then we need to look for the business people who understand distribution and understand additional income streams and understand the way that an asset is built one customer or one team at a time.
Yeah. And I want to say again, we love our health professionals. My wife's a health professional, and we talk a lot about that because our team is made up of a lot of that. But Like Jason's not building with health professionals. I mean, I don't think they may not have a single one on their team. They do in their upline. I'm not sure, but the point is it doesn't require that. And I will say I'm going to kind of step outside our line, but one of the fastest double diamonds ever in the history of Zalise was a yard care guy. He had a yard business, and he brought his first few people that came in were like hairdressers and salon owners and business-minded people and stock analysts and so forth like that on their team. They weren't professionals. As a matter of fact, I don't even think they have that many healthcare professionals in other teams. So again, we're kind of heavy with it. So we do have a lot of resources that way. But anyway.
Well, and so I want to have Jim and Linda Ferguson come to the line and close down our call. And again, you guys, there's somebody that is in your team, in your grasp, in your network that is a Laura Mclendon. And our job is to go find her. So Jim and Linda, thank you for your courage. Thank you for your boldness. Thank you for the value that you bring to our team. How does it make you feel to see just the rest of the story?
Laura, you are amazing. No doubt the first time that we met you, I guess the first time that we personally met you was in September of 2019 when we all went at the Fall Fest. And we came in and did that first plan for you back then. And we've just always been so impressed with you, talked with you so much before then. There's no surprises here. That you know, you moved forward and made the decision to do it because you're just the kind of person that people, like Lisa said, imagine you enrolling someone like Laura Mclendon, and then just also imagine you helping and serving them because that is the core of what we do. So we are very excited, yes, of course, to see that. But you know, this is really just the beginning of the story, guys. This is 3.5 years, this business, basically, from when Lisa got started. This is so brand new. We've got to wrap our heads around this. Everyone, tomorrow is the first day of your business if you choose for it to be. And, you know, we're just very humbled and grateful.
Well, and you know, we're proud, like great grandparents would be, you know, and you know that our kids are growing and doing well, you know, but you know. But I think Laura hit on something tonight, that it's not the logic of what you're doing, you know, that moves you forward. It's the emotion behind it. You know, it's the why. You know, when her why got, you know, of reaching a mass of people got bigger than her working one-on-one with people, that's when she changed gears. That's when everything started to switch and change. And it's the why, it's the emotion behind it. You know, a lot of us are real comfortable where we are. And we think that whatever it is that we have is going to provide us our hopes and our dreams and our security and all those other things that we want. And it's not until somebody like Susan, Walsh, you know, gets shut down by, you know, Wells gets shut down by the government. It's not until Laura gets laid off that all of a sudden we realize that this horse that we have been counting on is not going to get us across the finish line. You know, with me, it was everything that I had invested into was being basically, including my own health, was being taken away from me. You know, so it was an emotional change of gears that we had to go through. And it's that emotion, it's that hope, it's that dream, it's that impact that you're looking to make. That's what's going to make a difference. It's not the logic of how and why, you know, I mean, or what and how, but it's the why that's going to drive you. Thank you.
Thank you. So a couple of things real quick on housekeeping. Let's go ahead and stop the recording.